Hi, beautiful ladies. So excited to be here today. If you're joining me live, leave some comments below. Let me know from where are you joining me today. And let me know if you have attended any of my free masterclasses before. I would be interested to know more about you. From where are you joining me? What are you looking to gain out of this free masterclass today? And yeah, let me know if you have attended any of my free masterclasses before. I have actually a lot to cover today, so I'm just gonna make sure I'm live and then we'll get into it and we'll start going through my slides. As you know, I always share my screen and I give you guys or ladies a lot of knowledge. I don't hold back. So yeah, we can get started in a minute. I just need to make sure I'm live. Let me know in the comments if you can see me and hear me fine as well. I think I'm live. But I just need to see a comment. Yeah, that's good. I'm starting to see comments, but I can't see names for some reason. Oh, Jama. Thank you, Jama. Thank you for commenting. So happy to have you here today. Yeah, we'll get started then. And if you're joining me right now, also let me know in the comments. Why did you decide to join me today? And where are you joining me from? And also let me know if you have attended any of my free masterclasses before. All right, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you ladies. If you can see it, also let me know. So just trying to share my screen. Hello, ladies. I can see a few comments. So excited to be here today. Sharing my screen right now. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. So today we want to talk about trauma and attracting emotionally unavailable man. We have a lot to cover, so I'm just going to get started into it. Feel free to leave some comments. Let me know from where are you joining me today. And I'm really, really excited to be here today. So the masterclass is about traumas and attracting emotionally unavailable partners. And what I want to do during this masterclass is what I'm going to discuss. So during this masterclass, you will learn why you attract emotionally unavailable partners. You're also going to learn about how your trauma is affecting your relationships. We're also going to talk about how to overcome past traumas or past relationships and gain a higher level of self-confidence and self-worth. Then we're going to talk about how you can become an attraction magnet to attracting your dream relationship. So as you can see, there's a lot to cover, but I'm just going to ask you for a favor right now. If you're here with me right now, I want you to give yourself the gift of being here, being present in the here and now. Put your phone on silent or do not disturb, and also bring a notebook next to you, because the information I'm going to share with you today, you wouldn't find it anywhere else. And it's finally time for you to give back to yourself. Give yourself the gift of being present in the here and now with me inside the masterclass. Awesome. I can see England, I can see California, I can see Wales. That's amazing. What about the others? From where are you joining me? But like I said, give yourself the gift of being present with me in the here and now, and give back to yourself, because we're always busy doing things, but we never give back to ourselves. And now I'm gonna ask you to give back to yourself. I want you to be present in the here and now. And I want you to interact as well, because no one outside of the group can see your comments. And it's really important for you to interact, because you're part of this. You're part of this community, you're part of this group, and I want you to give yourself a chance to be able to interact and to heal. Sharing is healing. Awesome. I can see Chicago, I can see UAE, I can see Maryland. Awesome, awesome. So happy to see you all here today, and thank you for coming in. Very honored to be here to present this to you. So which one are you? So feel free to share whether you're number 1, you're number 2, you're number 3. So are you number 1? Do you feel that you have lost your confidence and struggling with a wounded inner child and trauma? Or are you number 2? You want to stop attracting toxic partners or chasing emotionally unavailable men? Or are you number 3? You're ready to date, but you don't know how to attract a healthy, committed relationship? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so I can see a 1. Oh, Florida. Nice, nice. So good to have you here. I can see 1, 2, and 3. And that's okay. Thank you for being honest. We never judge. I will never judge anyone, or, instead, I want to invite you to be able to be honest with yourself first, and be honest inside this masterclass as well. Like I said, sharing is healing. Number 2 for me, 1 and 2, 1, all of 3. Okay, so I can see some are 1s, some are 2s, 3s, and some are all, and that's completely fine. That's why I'm here. I'm here to give you information that you wouldn't find anywhere else. I'm here to support you heal. And heal first, and then attract everything you desire, because you deserve it. So whatever your reason is, I fully support you, I fully understand you, and I fully hear you. And you're not alone. I want to get started by talking a bit about myself. So from a very young age, I struggled with trauma. Parents were really just, physically there, emotionally not there. In primary school, high school, I dealt with bullying for many years, which led me to attracting the wrong relationships, settling for less, not knowing my worth. I tried to do everything and anything. I went on and beyond to make relationships work. But then in reality, they actually never worked, because I was compromising on my values. I didn't know my worth. I didn't feel good from within. I had no boundaries. I had no standards. And I let them take advantage of me in the hope of, them falling more in love with me. But in reality, that doesn't work. I settled and I settled until I reached a point in my life where I lost myself. And I had to tell myself, enough is enough. And I went on a mission to learn everything about relationships, commitments, about being enough and feeling enough from within, about being present, being aware, and of course, having boundaries and standards. I worked for many years on my therapy, and then I decided that enough was enough. And after that, I started to work on me, feeling enough from within, feeling worthy from within, having confidence and standards, and having the skills to heal first, which led me to attract my dream relationship. And I'm happily married now. And many of my clients have just this month and last month, I had 3 clients who went through the same journey as me and struggled in their lives to just in the last 2 months, or this month and last month, to being engaged and happily married, or planning their wedding. So I want you to know that you can do the same. And I know you can do it once you start healing your traumas, connecting with your inner child, loving yourself, and knowing you're enough. On my clinical and professional experience, I have my master's in counseling and psychotherapy, and I also am a qualified therapist, an inner child coach, and a dating coach. And I have been into, helping women and find their dream relationship and heal. And I've been working in this field for over 7 years and 3 years into coaching. So you're in safe hands, and I know what you need and how it works. So thank you for being here. Let's get started. If you have any questions or if you don't understand anything, leave some comments. I will be reading every single comment because I truly care about you and I value your time and I honor you being here present with me. So how can trauma affect your relationship? So when we talk about traumas, I want to focus on relationship trauma, which can result from abusive behaviors, neglect. It can also happen as a result of settling, not knowing yourself, being neglected, abused mentally or physically in your relationships. And this trauma can stem from, physical, emotional, mental abuse, neglect, and even sometimes it can happen when you attract a narcissist, or maybe it can happen when you try to fix someone and it doesn't work. And this trauma can lead you to long lasting psychological and even physical effects. And many of us think, trauma is also it's only physical. No, it's actually not. It can be mental, it can be emotional, it can be due to your inner child feeling abandoned, it can be due to childhood, it can be due to different reasons. And I don't want you to ever downplay your traumas. And actually, when trauma remains not resolved, you will struggle with triggers that causes an emotional response. So sometimes behaviors of others around you can not intentionally act as a reminder of the original conflict. So maybe uh, one of your friends, was joking about something and you got triggered because that's how your ex used to act, or how what he used to say to you or your parents, and it can relate to your trauma. So it's like a reminder of the original trauma. Also, another example, if you had parents who were emotionally distant or physically absent when you were a child and you felt abandoned as a child, when your partner, for example, comes home from work late, you feel rejected, you feel abandoned, you feel powerless as well, because you're still referring to the original trigger. or to the original trauma. You're not in the here and now, you acting from the original trauma as well. Does it make sense, ladies? Let me know in the comments. So feel free to take notes as well, because this is really important. How can trauma affect your relationships? How can trauma affect you as a person? So if you don't know this, feel free to start writing notes. Trauma can actually change your thought processes. A traumatic event can change the way you think about yourself, the way you think about others, including your partner. For example, if you have spent your life thinking that others are, are to be trusted or trustworthy, however, you have been harmed by someone in a traumatic experience, you may feel that I can't trust anyone. I can't trust anyone. I don't want anyone to be close to me because I'm trying to protect myself. I'm trying to protect my inner child. This in return will affect the way you interact with others, including your partner, because you're always thinking about the worst case scenario. You're always thinking about you not trusting them, and your thought process has changed to being more defensive and trying to protect yourself from the original trauma, basically. And then what you develop coping mechanisms to protect yourself. But these coping mechanisms can lead you to attracting the wrong relationships, settling for less, not knowing your worth, not knowing who you are as a person anymore. Does it make sense, ladies? And with that being said, trauma can make you also become hyper alert. So trauma activates our brain fear center. So your brain fear center is activated by trauma, which will send you into the fight, flight, or freeze state. So anytime you're faced with trauma, what your brain does, because of the fear, you go into the flight, freeze, or fight response to survive. But if you've been through trauma in childhood or through relationships or in high school, your brain can stay in this hyper alert state even after the incident. So basically, you're in survival. That's what we call survival mode. Have you heard about survival mode before? Let me know in the comments if you have heard about survival mode before. So basically, your brain is stuck thinking everything is a threat to me right now. Everyone is dangerous. I need to protect myself. Yes, I used to be in survival. You're not alone. So you're always in this stage of thinking something bad is going to happen. And normally, when we face with normal fear, we go back to being normal. So we go back to being ourselves, away from the flight, freeze response. But because of the traumatic experience, you're always in that survival, trying to survive. All you want to do is survive. All your inner child wants is to survive. And your brain sees everything as a potential threat, when it can be an actual threat, but sometimes it can be not an actual threat. It's just a normal life situation. So for example, if you were assaulted while walking down the street, you may feel someone coming close to you. You're always like this. You're feeling something. You're always, you jump because you worry. You feel like they're gonna attack you, when in reality they're just coming close to you. There's nothing else. And Of course, we want to go through the flight freeze response, but we don't want to stay in that state. We want to get out of it because we need to function normally. And how trauma can affect your relationships by causing you to feel numb. Do you feel numb, ladies? Let me know in the comments. Are you more into the survival, or are you more into feeling numb the whole time because of your traumas, toxic relationships, wounded inner child? Yeah, it's automatically you're like in this survival. And yeah, it's hard to relax. Everything is a threat, but also trauma can make you feel numb. Let me know in the comments. Do you feel numb sometimes? So basically, why do we feel numb? It's the flip side of this heightened state of arousal, which is being disconnected from your reality. You feel numb or dead inside because your brain is trying to protect you, or so our brain wants you to survive by entering a detachment state to protect you from harm. So your brain basically creates this mental block. So mental block, so you don't struggle, so you don't feel your traumas. So you feel numb because your brain doesn't want you to feel your traumas or your emotions and feelings. And it's trying to protect you because it's too much for you to handle by yourself. But in contrast, you're disconnected from the here and now. You're not present with us. Let's say you're watching this masterclass, but your brain is somewhere else because you're not here, you're not present. You have this mental block. And if you don't go through the right cycle of trauma and releasing the traumas, you can struggle in contrast with stuck trauma or trapped trauma. So you're instead of you dealing with the traumas, your body will hold the traumas and it can become physical. Sometimes you have headaches, sometimes you have back pain. You can't explain why. This is because you haven't gone through the right cycle of releasing the traumas. And it can affect your relationships by not being present, not being in the here and now. Your partner could talk to you, but you can be somewhere else. Some said, I don't feel numb, I feel too much. Some said numb, others said they feel numbed. Others said we both. Okay, I can see that. Some of you can be in survival, others can be numb because of the traumas. And it can affect you because it can lead you to attracting emotionally unavailable partners because you're numb, you're detached from your reality, and that's a safe option for you to attract. Does it make sense, ladies? Also, it can lead you to feeling avoidance. Experiencing trauma can lead you to avoid any situation that reminds you of the traumatic event. This can significantly impact your ability to function on a daily basis because it tends to make you believe that the only way to feel safe is by making your world or your environment smaller. So you try to avoid anything or even going out because this is how you feel safe. Your brain is telling you this is how you feel safe. And as a result, you don't connect with others, you can't build relationships, and the safest option for you to attract someone who's emotionally unavailable because of your traumas. Does that make sense, ladies? Let me know in the comments. And trauma can leave you feeling lonely, of course. You want to isolate yourself, have difficulty, connecting with others, and you feel like no one will understand you, so you rather be alone. And this is also a coping mechanism. Instead of dealing with the trauma, to attract everything you desire, your dream relationship, your dream job. Also, trauma can create anger. So you feel angry and you feel less in control of your emotions and behavioral responses because you feel like you can't trust anyone. You feel like your partner is not to be trusted, and if he's emotionally available, then it's a threat to you because you're holding all this trauma from the past. And for him to be healthy and tries to connect with your inner child, it's a threat to you, so you don't feel connected to them. And you feel angry to reinforce your belief that no one will understand you. Let me know in the comments if you're struggling with this. And you may wonder by now, how can trauma lead you to attracting emotionally unavailable partners? Let's get into it. Let me drink some water first. Right. So the truth is, the way we interact with relationships is closely related to our past relationships. Ladies, feel free to let me know in the comments, how was your childhood? Did you feel validated? Did you feel safe? Did you feel like your inner child was feeling safe? What was it like for you being a child? Let me know in the comments so we can understand why you've been attracting the wrong relationships along with having traumas. Because as we grow, we develop subconscious belief systems about what love looks like based on our experiences. In other words, we create the relationship dynamic like the one we had growing up because this is your comfort zone. This is where you feel safe, and this is where you feel like I can be myself. I'm used to this type of relationships. And exactly is coming from childhood trauma. Not validated, not listened to, not encouraged. Yes, when you're not encouraged, when you're not listened to, you're not supported, then you grow up and you have this conflict you want to resolve because mom and dad didn't validate me, didn't acknowledge me, didn't listen to me. So I need to find someone who is similar to them so I can solve this original conflict that I have with mom and dad. I was never safe, always working on eggshells, being yelled at and abused. Exactly. So what you do, I'm so sorry you went through this. So what you do, instead, you hold your traumas get trapped, and then you go and you try to attract a relationship. And most likely, what do you think you're going to attract? Someone emotionally unavailable, because this is you feeling safe because this is what you used to growing up, but at the same time you have this conflict you're trying to resolve. And also being overprotective and strict is like you don't have a sense of self, so you attract someone similar to your parents or the opposite sometimes because you're trying to heal the wounds that you have from your childhood or from your mom or from your dad. So if you find yourself choosing emotionally unavailable partners, you need to start digging into your past and find out how this dynamic is created. Why do you still have it in your current, relationships? Maybe one of your parents was emotionally unavailable or physically absent growing up, and your emotional needs as a child weren't met. So they manifested into insecure attachment style. So you can have the avoidance attachment style or the needy attachment style or the anxious, And then that's when you attract emotionally unavailable partners. Sometimes you can choose to become emotionally unavailable yourself because you're trying to feel safe. It's like a coping mechanism to you. Feel free to comment below or write this down. We repeat what was traumatizing in a subconscious effort to gain resolution of the original conflict you had with your parents, or in high school, or in primary school even. If you felt rejected, unloved, or powerless as a child, you may recreate experiences and relationships where you feel in unconscious effort to change the outcome. So you're trying to change the outcome to heal yourself by gaining acceptance. You're trying to gain acceptance. You're trying to gain the love of someone who's emotionally unavailable so you can heal yourself. But instead, what you do, you choose partners and friends who treat you like your parents did, and you continue to play the part of that you always have and recreate the same outcome, but you're not getting anywhere. You're stuck basically in this cycle. This is like you're stuck in the survival mode cycle. It's like you're stuck in being numb cycle. You're stuck in the cycle of attracting emotionally unavailable partners. And when you try to resolve failed relationships, let's say in your case, your parents were okay, emotionally there, you had an okay childhood. But then in high school, you were bullied, or maybe you had good friends, but then you attracted the wrong relationships because you don't have a high level of self-worth. So when you attract one failed relationship, what your inner child or traumatic mind is trying to do, your traumatic mind is trying to win the love of someone who's emotionally unavailable. So you're basically trying to resolve the original conflict you had with your ex. So if you felt rejected, unloved, or stayed in a toxic relationship, you may recreate experiences and relationships where you try to prove to your inner child it can change your partner. Instead of healing, we stay traumatized and we create a cycle of toxic relationships based on the illusion that we can heal ourselves by fixing emotionally unavailable partners or toxic people. Does it make sense, ladies? Let me know in the comments. You're not alone. I know how you feel when you're trying to get close to someone and then you back right off because you're trying to protect yourself. You want to be close, but at the same time, you can't be close because you're trying to protect yourself. And it's really important to start healing the traumas. But does it make sense how you're trying to resolve an original conflict, whether it's from childhood, whether it's from high school, whether it's from past relationships? So one of the reasons why women attract emotionally unavailable partners is because we're carrying unhealed emotional abandonment wound ourselves. And what I mean by this, actually, sorry, just give me a second. Let me make my screen a bit smaller. So what I mean by this is that the inner child within you. So as you know, you have an inner child. I have an inner child. If you haven't understood the inner child before, feel free to watch one of my previous master classes, and it will tell you a lot about the inner child work as well. So basically, the inner child who's carrying the emotional abandonment wound is seeking to fix the original conflict where you were emotionally abandoned by choosing emotionally unavailable partners in the hope that things will be different this time. Of course, this is all happening on a subconscious level. You're not aware about this. So, to make it clear for you ladies, everything is energy, including our unhealed wounds, and they're highly magnetic. So our unhealed abandonment wounds are seeking a connection match. So you're seeking a connection match. It's like broken attracts broken, because this is where you feel safe, and this is where you feel you can be yourself, and and this is your, this is what you think is normal. So your abandonment wounds on a subconscious level seeking a match, and that's why you attract emotionally unavailable partners. And how do you know you're struggling with an abandonment wound? You feel unworthy of love. You feel that you're not good enough for a partner. You compare yourself to others. You feel that you have lost your sense of identity. You need to work hard to feel worthy. You have difficulty making your own choices. You always need validations from others. You always need to give to feel good about yourself. Let me know in the comments if you struggle with any of the signs that I have just mentioned. Let me know in the comments, whether you're watching this live or later as a replay. Sometimes knowing things is great, but doing things and having the skills is really what matters the most. All right, I can see some comments. All of the above. What about others? All. Yep, you're not alone. That means you might be struggling with an abandonment wound. Validations and comparing worthiness. You're not alone, ladies. You're not alone. What about others? Yes, give to feel good, or struggling with false guilt. You need to give. You need to give. Try harder, which is false guilt. And another reason why women attract emotionally unavailable partners is because we're afraid of getting hurt. Of course, there's many reasons why we find emotionally unavailable people so attractive. And a lot of them come down to us, not actually the emotionally unavailable, but sorry. It comes down to us, not actually the emotionally unavailable partners. So it really comes down to us more than anything. It's like, why are we attracting them? It's us. We need to know what's happening for us on a subconscious level so we can stop attracting them. For example, if you have been hurt before, which many of us have, we might be really scared to feel that type of heartbreak again. And we might not feel like truly opening up to someone else because you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to get close to someone. You want someone, but you don't want someone. It's that feeling. And on a subconscious level, you actually maybe don't want commitment or real relationship because you're afraid that it's going to fail again. You're always thinking about the worst case scenario because of your traumas, past relationships, wounded inner child, and you can struggle with an avoidant attachment style because your needs as a child weren't met, and they manifested in having insecure attachment style. And of course, why are you worried to get hurt because you don't trust yourself from within. You don't maybe trust that you're gonna attract someone worthy of your love. Yes, you purposely attract them and you want to fix them while breaking yourself. And this is because of your traumas: wounded inner child, abandonment wounds, codependency. And thank you for being honest. I can see many of you being honest, like just saying, it's me. I don't want commitment. I want to fix them, and I don't really, maybe you don't even see yourself with them, but you just want to fix them and change them, but you actually can't change anyone. So it's safe for, so basically it can be safe for a person who's afraid of getting hurt or doesn't have the emotional capacity to attract someone who is emotionally unavailable. It's like a coping mechanism, let's put it that way. And another reason why women attract emotionally unavailable partners is because we are emotionally unavailable ourselves. Another reason why we can attract someone emotionally unavailable is because you may not be open with your own feelings and emotions. You're not open with yourself. You're trying to ignore your feelings and emotions. And then in reality, that's when you develop more traumas. If you struggle with self-esteem, shyness, or feeling not good enough, you may find it difficult to be your authentic self and vulnerable because you worry they're gonna hurt you. You worry that the safest option for me is to be emotionally unavailable myself. Does it make sense, ladies? And it can be that you have had your heart broken too many times, and being vulnerable or having this vulnerability of love makes you hold back your emotions. You find it intimidating to date someone who is emotionally available because they're present, the relationship is so calm, and maybe you find it boring because you want this award, and you want to save them, and if someone healthy comes into your life, you might find it boring because your brain is like, this is not my normal. Why am I attracting someone like this? I need to run, basically. And you may find it intimidating to date someone who is emotionally available because it feels too risky. Hurt from past relationships could be holding you back as well. And how do you know you're emotionally unavailable yourself? You struggle to communicate your needs. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you have any of the signs that I have been mentioning. So you struggle to communicate your needs. You're scared of relationships and commitment. You always think your partner will leave. You always try to find flaws so you don't connect. So you find mistakes in them so you don't connect, and you truly don't want to go into a relationship because basically that's a self-sabotaging behavior. You tend to self-sabotage in a relationship. You think relationships are hard work and it's better for me to stay single. Let me know in the comments if you have any of the signs that I have just mentioned, or you can see on my screen. And if you're watching the replay later on, also let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you have any of the signs. All right, I can see some comments. But let's talk more about the chase, the love bonding chase. That's what I call it. Another reason why women attract emotionally unavailable partners is because we love the chase. As humans, we often want what we don't have. We all know this. Is that correct? We always want what we can't have. It's like you want it because you can't have it. If you're chasing after someone who's emotionally unavailable, it's going to be never-ending dead-end chase. but that might be exciting for you. It's like similar to the trauma bonding. You like them because they send you cute messages, and then the next day it's like, oh, I didn't get anything from them. And then they send you something, and that's when you feel good about yourself and you love this feeling of up and down. It's like trauma bonding to emotionally unavailable person. Does it make sense? Okay, so I can see some of you said I don't communicate my needs and I struggle with self-sabotaging. Yes, feel free to watch the replay later on. You're not alone, ladies, but let's talk more about the chase and the trauma bonding that can happen to you on a subconscious level more than anything. So basically, we love the rewards we get. We get cute messages back, great dates, and so on. And then when they're not consistent, we will be waiting for him to message us. And we're sitting left waiting for the next reward. And when we finally get this reward of him messaging us or taking us out on a date, it feels so good because we didn't have it. And then and it's like trauma bonding. It's like up and down, and you get addicted to behaviors like this. Being addicted to the chase or chasing can also be an indication you committing to not commit. And there's you needing to heal because you need to know what you deserve first, and then heal the part of you or the inner child within you that's seeking emotionally unavailable partners. And of course, you all know this, another reason why women attract emotionally unavailable partners is because you're a fixer. Who is a fixer? I've been a fixer all my whole life until I said enough is enough. What about you, ladies? Let me know in the comments. Yes, up and down, the inconsistency, you being addicted to it, even though you're not aware about it, but you are addicted to this love, to this trauma bonding, up and down. And you like it when it's up, it feels good. And then when it goes down, you wait for it to go up and again. It's like a cycle, basically. Yes. I was a fixer. I don't need that anymore. Yes, thank God. Thank God. Yes, yes. We don't need to be fixers. We're not meant to fix anyone. You're meant to heal yourself more than anything. Okay, so let's talk about us being a fixer, if that's you. If it's not you and you're worried about commitment, that's fine as well. You know, many of us struggle with different things. So do you attract emotionally unavailable partners who seem that they need healing? If you're a sensitive soul and if you come from a history of not so healthy caretaking or codependency, you may be attracted to the habit of helping. This can be a traumatic or a toxic cycle. It can lead you to settling, being in healthy relationships, abusive relationships, leaving you feeling unfulfilled, out of balance, and you're likely to give more than what you get in the relationship. When one person becomes the fixer in a relationship, it creates an unhealthy level of codependency. When you start solving other people's problem for them, or just feeling responsible for the emotional balance in the relationship, we create unhealthy sense of codependency and usually a lack of respect for ourselves. We create false guilt. You're more focused on fixing others or saving others because you don't want to deal with your own traumas. And you need to start realizing that you need to let go of this false guilt. You're not alone if you haven't realized you were a fixer and you have this trauma bonding. This is why we're here. We're going to talk about some of the ways to heal. Another reason why women attract emotionally unavailable partners is because you believe you don't deserve love, or the thought of not being good enough, not being worthy enough has been internalized from a very young age for you. So basically, you always thought about yourself not being good enough, so I should settle. And I used to struggle with this because I didn't feel I was enough. I didn't feel anyone would want to be with me to that point. And I struggled with my self-esteem and self-worth. Who struggles with this as well? Let me know in the comments. Another reason why you are attracting or being attracted to emotionally unavailable man is because you're willing to settle for less. I thought settling for less was a good option for me, so they will stay with me, and I didn't know my worth anyways. So you believe that your partner is what you deserve, but you are wrong, because you feel attracted to someone who's emotionally not available because somewhere in your mind and heart you think you understand them and you can connect with them and you can save them. And that's when you lose touch with your self-worth and what you truly deserve. Feel free to write this down, ladies. Knowing your worth is the answer to attracting healthy relationships, the answer to loving yourself and never settling for less. Feel free to write this down. And yes, I used to think that way as well. A man would go somewhere else, would find someone else rather than me, because I didn't know my worth. And I'm going to repeat this. Feel free to write this down and maybe write it in the chat. So you tell yourself, I will know my worth. I will not settle for less. Start making commitments to yourself, because knowing your worth is the answer to attracting healthy relationships, the answer to loving yourself, and never settling for less. And how can you heal? Let's talk about the ways you can start healing. Who's ready to start healing? Let me know in the comments. First step is to connect with your inner child. The inner child who's carrying the emotional abandonment wound is seeking to fix the original conflict, where they were emotionally abandoned by choosing emotionally unavailable partners in the hope they can fix things or solve the original conflict. So what you need to do, ladies, get to know your inner child. Have you worked on your inner child before? I love this. I'm ready to heal. I will never settle. I will know my worth and not settle. Oh, I'm so proud of you, ladies. That makes me so happy to see the comments. Sorry, I didn't see them. I just saw them. I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of you, ladies. That's amazing. I'm really, really proud. But let's talk about the inner child. Have you ever connected with your inner child? Have you ever done inner child work? Because you seriously need to start accepting that your inner child or traumatic subconscious mind or the child within you does exist. So the first step in any healing process is acceptance. You can't get where you're going until you know where you're at. That goes for your healing of your inner child. You need to first acknowledge that your inner child does exist and they have been suffering. They've been holding all your traumas, the times you were rejected, the time you felt abandoned, the time you didn't feel connected to your parents. We need to start empowering ourselves to step into reality and out of the painful illusions that we're living in. Accept that your inner child exists. Stop running away from them. Stop ignoring them. Stop feeling ashamed of them. Every single one of us has an inner child and is hurting and confused. If you want to find peace, you need to first acknowledge them and all the pain they have been through. You can't just ignore them and start, thinking, I'm fine. I'm just going to work on my boundaries or self-worth and I'm fine. No, you need to acknowledge your inner child. Acknowledge the painful experiences they had. And admitting something is broken doesn't make it less worthy. It makes it more powerful. Once you accept, or once you have accepted that your inner child exists, acknowledge them, find lessons, and connect with them. And the second step is to understand if you're dating emotionally unavailable people, it really stems from your self-worth, self-esteem issues. And then you need to start working on developing a sense of self and knowing your worth and getting rid of feeling unworthy. The way you feel about yourself directly affects your relationships with others and your dating life. When you feel confident, full of self-worth from within, you're able to connect with a great partner and you will no longer settle for less. Do you know your worth? How can you define self-worth? Let's get started. Let's start talking about self-worth. How can you define self-worth? What do you do if you have a negative thought? Are you able to start reframing and challenging instead of telling yourself I'm not good enough? Reframe it and challenge it and tell yourself I'm worthy, I'm good enough. I want you to start reframing one of your negative thoughts right now. Go ahead. What's self-worth? How do you define self-worth? I want to see some comments. And I want you to know sharing is healing. Keep that in mind. Sharing is releasing of traumas, wounds, and triggers. Start changing the thoughts, the negative thoughts, but you still need to feel your emotions and feelings, which are different to thoughts. But once you have a negative thought, you need to start changing and challenging your negative thoughts. Otherwise, you're going to have thousands of negative thoughts and you're going to be detached from your reality and you're going to settle for less in relationships and your traumas can get more triggered and worsen. Yes, I deserve that because I'm hardworking. Yes, you deserve it. Of course, you're worthy just for existing. And the third step is to start working on your boundaries. How do you protect yourself from attracting the wrong relationships or emotionally unavailable partners? I can see more comments. I'm enough. Yes, you're enough. You need to start telling your inner child, you are enough. You're good enough. You don't need validations. Reframe and challenge and give back to yourself other than giving it to the people. The next time you see yourself seeking validations, go away, breathe in, breathe out, and say, am I seeking validation? Yes, I'm going to give it back to myself. I'm amazing. I'm enough. I'm great. And let's talk more about, I can see more comments. So proud of you ladies. I love this masterclass. It's like one of my favorites. So happy to be here. Let's talk about the third step. We want to have boundaries. Boundaries are part of your identity. Boundaries are part of who you are. You set boundaries for yourself first before you set them for others. For example, it's about what you will tolerate and not tolerate. I will not fix anyone anymore. I will not save anyone. And that's a boundary I set for myself. And when someone who is emotionally unavailable comes into my life, I wouldn't even attract them, or they wouldn't be attracted to me because I'm not going to save them. Or, you need to set boundaries for yourself. Boundaries are based on your own needs and wants. And you need to understand, even emotionally unavailable partners or toxic people can't stay with someone who has boundaries. They will run away from you. If someone doesn't respect your boundaries, you need to let them go, because they're showing you their true colors by not respecting your boundaries. And how do you know if you're lacking boundaries? Let me know in the comments if you have any of the signs. You struggle to say no, you try to save the relationship, you settle for less, you stay for long in toxic relationships, you don't speak up even when you're treated badly, you give away too much of your time and energy. Let me know in the comments if you have any of the signs that I have mentioned, because this is a sign that you're struggling with your boundaries. And in order to heal, you need to work on your boundaries, along with healing your traumas, getting to know your inner child, and also having a high level of self-esteem and self-worth. Yes, exactly. When you have boundaries, toxic people will reveal themselves faster. They will show you their true colors. This is the big one for me, all of the above. Ladies, you're not alone, honestly. Start working on your boundaries. Sticking to your boundaries will prevent you from being taken advantage of and falling into toxic relationships, because toxic people will run away from you. Toxic people can't be with someone who has boundaries. You need to keep this in mind. And once you start healing your traumas, your wounded inner child, and the wounds that lead you to attracting emotionally unavailable partners, you will never settle for less. You will know how to attract a high quality man. You will date with confidence. You will never fall into toxic relationships again. And today we have discovered few reasons to why you're attracting the wrong relationships. We spoke about traumas and how it can affect your relationships. We spoke about ways to start healing. So basically, we spoke about the inner child, we spoke about self-worth and past traumas. You could be emotionally unavailable yourself. So basically, you could have an avoidant attachment style. You could lack boundaries, and you can be a fixer. And there's more to this. There's more to the inner work that not a lot of people talk about. And when it comes to attracting your dream relationship, there's more work needs to be done around self-worth and self-esteem, self-love, inner child, feminine and masculine energies. And of course, we can't cover everything today, but right now you will have two options. You can keep doing what you have been doing and run into the risk of feeling numb, being stuck, being in survival mode, triggered from your past, and attracting the wrong relationships. Or there's an option for you today. You can get my knowledge and my support, my experience, and my caring nature, and come and join Break the Cycle program. This is a new program where I'm going to teach you how to rebuild your confidence, heal your inner child, have boundaries, and attract your dream relationship, and heal from traumas. And I'm going to introduce this lovely program. I'm not going to run it again. It's a brand new program. And also, I'm just going to run it once this year. So this is your only chance to join it. This program is designed to heal past traumas, let go of attracting emotionally unavailable partners, and learn to attract your dream relationship. How does that sound, ladies? And I only have limited spots. Someone already bought the pre-sale yesterday, and another lady bought one today. So there's about 3 more spots left. And this is what you're going to get when you join this program to heal your traumas, your wounds, and letting go of traumas, attracting emotionally unavailable partners. This is what you will get inside. You will get 2 group sessions, and the group sessions will be with my previous clients who have healed and found love. So you know how it works, not just me talking to you, but others as well. and I'm going to include my previous clients in this. You and also the ladies who joined this round also will be included in the group sessions. You're going to have worksheets and activities. You're going to have a limited support through messages and emails, and you're going to have 4 personalized sessions with me. And you can work with me today, or you can sign up today, because for the next 48 hours, if you join, you will receive $100 off the program. And this is only valid for the next 3 ladies, because I'm not going to accept more. I'm really tied with my other clients and other work that I do as well. So only running this program once this year. And if you pay in full, you will receive an extra session. And the investment, this is an investment in you. This is not an investment in a program. This is an investment in you to heal for once and for all. And the investment is $56 US. And if you want to do installments, you can do 4 easy installments of $275 a month for 4 months. And the price will go up after that. And I don't think I'm going to have any more spots, because I'm just running this once this year. I want to be there and hold your hand throughout your healing journey. You deserve to have the support throughout this journey. You're an investment. You're worthy of healing. Stop wasting time going to therapists or people who do not have the knowledge or what you need. Come and join me. Let me support you heal. You deserve to have this investment in your life, because you're worthy. And this is the first step towards knowing your worth, by investing in your growth, in your healing, in letting go of your traumas and connecting with your inner child. And here's what's included. So we will work together for 3 months. You will have 4 private sessions with me. I'm not like the usual therapist. Oh, it's been 1 hour, that's it. No, my sessions go up to 1.5 hours. You will get 2 group sessions, and you will have access to me every day through messages. So basically, for the next 3 months, you can message me every day if you need to. And you will have sessions with me and group sessions as well. And what I will cover inside the program is heal your traumas and wounded inner child, heal the emotional abandonments and attracting emotionally unavailable partners, the wounds that come with it as well. And then theme 3, we're gonna heal the need to prove yourself, codependency, and develop your self-worth. And theme 4, we're gonna let go of your fears of relationships and learn how to attract your dream relationship. And just so you know that just like the last 2 months have been amazing with the engagements that my clients have, they had. So Ginger, she started working with me when she was lost. She didn't know herself. She didn't have enough self-worth. She struggled with being in narcissistic relationships, working together through gaining her boundaries, self-worth, and healing her traumas. Just last week, I think, she has been, she got engaged. And that was a picture we took during our Zoom call. Same with my lovely client, Susanna. Last month, her boyfriend proposed to her. Susanna had a lot of traumas, lost her mom at a very young age, and she didn't know her worth, and she was lost when she came to me. She was going through a breakup. And just last month, she got engaged. Of course, she worked on herself before going into a relationship. She developed the skills that she needed, and she developed her self-confidence. And also my lovely client, Jennifer, as well. When we started working together, she was going through a divorce. So she was going through a divorce. She was finalizing the divorce. Her husband was abusive, like physically abusive. Through working together and gaining her self-love, her self-worth, healing her traumas, she found the relationship of her dreams, and she's happily engaged. And I need you to know this is, I'm not going to run this program again. It's all in one. Of course, depending on, you, but I'm only accepting 3 more ladies. But a final note from me, I really honor you taking the time to connect with me today and watching this. I see you, and I want you to know it's possible for you to heal. It's possible for you to go beyond your traumas, conditioning. I have poured my heart into this. I have poured my heart and soul into each session I do with my clients because I work with integrity and I know I can support you. I want you to let me guide you, and together we should work on your healing, heal your inner child, and attract your dream relationship. And I really want to be there to support you. If you're ready to join, comment below or message me right now, because I honestly don't think I'm going to have any spots left once I'm going to announce this program. Can't wait to support you. And I appreciate you being here. What if I can't pay right now? Message me. Let's see when you can pay, and we can talk more about maybe saving your spot for 24 hours if needed. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be working with you. I love the kind comments of my lovely clients. So yeah, let me know. Contact me today, and yes, let's talk. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you, and I hope you learned a lot. Thank you. Take care.